Hi everyone, I'm Nina. Today's a special day. I get to show you guys how I create a children's book. So for this video, I'm going to be showing you how I created the illustrations for Beach Hair, written by Ashley Woodfolk and published by Simon Schuster. It says it in the title, guys. It's beachy vibes, sunny, summery, and just letting your hair down and being free. I'm also going to show you how I brought the vibrant beachy scenes to life and, maybe a little bit of summer fun. So yeah, stick around and let's go. Now the research for this book was really a lot of fun because the first thing I did was go to the beach with my family and we just did what we always do. We people watched and we played with the sand and made sand castles as best as we could because sand castles are hard. One of the things that I kept in mind was how people enjoyed their day, what they were wearing, the little details that we don't really notice on a daily basis. I made sure that I was hyper aware of it and just kept a mental note each and every time because it's kind of creepy if I draw people in their swimsuits. But I did keep it in mind. I kept some of the textures that I saw at the beach. Also, any hair textures that I thought were interesting. I also made sure that I kept it in my head. And then when I got home, I actually did research. So one of the things that we really wanted to represent in this book was all types of hair textures. So for example, for me, my hair texture, I straighten it right now, but it's a little wavy naturally. It is like between a 2C and a 2B, which I had no idea. Super cool to learn about this stuff. For Ashley, I learned that her hair is a type 4C. So I made sure that I did all kinds of research on that and then Ashley's husband's hair is more straight, kind of like my hair actually. It's more like a cross between a 2C and a 2B as well. So I made sure that was represented. And then for our little guy, I made sure that his hair was a little bit more like a cross in between, like a fun cross in between, which is like soft, bigger curls. And that was, I think a 3C or a 3A, correct me if I'm wrong. Beach hair is really about a quiet observation of how our hair textures kind of change throughout the day. Something that you never really think to be aware of. I made sure that my illustrations kind of mirrored that narration. So throughout the book, you'll see that their hair starts off dry to wet to how it dries after a day at the beach. I don't know if you noticed if you read the book, but the whole day kind of is transitioned like that. It transitioned from morning to noon to the sunset. And I made sure everything kind of mimicked that transition. That's pretty much what I did for the research. Does that make sense? I think I just like doing this. Okay, moving on. Sometimes I don't actually sketch out my characters. There have been plenty of books where I just get a manuscript and they tell me to go. But for this particular book, they wanted me to give them an idea of what I'm thinking or visualizing for the main family. For the character designs, it was really important to get it down because we really had a specific idea of what these characters should look, and we all needed to be on the same page about this. Going back to the research, I made sure that the family had the hair representation that we all wanted as a team. I always start with the main character, and the main character here is our little guy. I think I named him Jared, or I think it was Jared. I don't know. I like to name my characters, even if they don't have names. I always give them a name just so I feel like I feel closer to my characters that way. Is that weird? Nah. I actually started sketching him out as a 3-year-old, and after I got the feedback, they were like, "Oh, let's make him a little older." So I did, and we all fell in love with him pretty quickly. And after that came Mom and Dad. From there, I did a color sample of my sample sketch. I think I got 3 months to work on the sketches, and then it's always like a ping pong game, I like to say. It routes through so many people all the time, and by the time everybody gets to see it, it's probably like weeks or maybe even a month until I get any feedback. They review it on their end and give me the feedback for any revisions, any sketch revisions. Once I get the approval to move forward, then it's time for the fun part, which is coloring. So for final art, this is kind of like the process where the research, the sketches, everything that I've seen or tried to remember seeing at the beach, it all kind of ties together. It is very to the point, pretty much. This is always fun because the sketches are always, my sketches at least, are always very detailed. While I'm sketching anyway, I already know the colors that I'm gonna use and the colors that I want to see. And then the textures. I always try to use different textures each time I illustrate. Speaking of textures, I get asked a lot about the textures that I use. It's anything, because inspiration is everywhere. I will go on, I don't know, a walk or a trip with my family, and they'll see me taking random pictures of close-ups of something, and it is because I use it for textures later on in my work. I have a collection of textures that I've collected over the years. Some I've bought, some I've painted, some, yeah, it's a mix of different things to make them pop a little bit more, to give it that more organic look to my work. Yeah, so now you know my secret. I will have to kill you. Just kidding. So after the final art is approved, I think we start finishing the cover art. And it's always, again, it's always different for every book I've ever done. There are some experiences where I've done the cover first before even doing anything with the interior. But I think for Beach Hair, we finished the final art for the whole entire book first before moving to the cover. When I do cover arts, it is always 3 sketches, 2 to 3 sketches. So we all get to decide which one of the 3 is the strongest and which one will eventually end up being the cover art for this. For this book, I used a lot of bright and cheerful tones just to go with the energy of that summer beachy vibe. So seeing the characters come to life is always so rewarding, and for Beach Hair in particular, it is just a beautiful celebration of diversity and just being able to go out there and just let your hair out, let your hair down, and just enjoy being alive, period. I am so grateful that I got to share this process with you all, and I hope I get to do it again soon, actually. This was a lot of fun. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I had such a great time sharing all this tidbit with you, and I hope it inspires you too. And if you like drawing, if you're an artist, if you like writing, just keep going. There is space for you. I also hope that you get to grab your copy of Beach Hair and share it with your favorite classroom, donate it to a library, or add it to your bookshelf. I'm forever grateful. Thank you. It was nice to meet you. Bye.